We're the Versailles Girls Golf Team, and Fish Report Live starts now!
Coming to you live from Studio F in Versailles, Ohio, it's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. It is Wednesday night, September 11th. My name is Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. I don't have to tell you who's back in the sound room, but I will anyway. It's TK and Heavy D back with us again this week. And Ken, last week we talked a little volleyball, a little cross country. Tonight we're going to talk about a couple different sports, aren't we?
Yes, we are, Craig. We got a nice phone interview lined up here right off the bat with Anna head football coach Bryan Rioch. So we're really looking forward to talking to Bryan and listening about his Anna Rockets this year and talk about some things that are going on in the MAC this year. So that should be real interesting. And then the second half of our show, Craig, we're going to last night we went over to Stillwater Valley Golf Course and had a great opportunity to talk to Coach Borchers, head girls coach of the Versailles girls golf team, along with several of the Versailles golfers. So we had a lot of fun over there and look forward to hearing what they all have to say about their season in golf.
All right, well, before we get to all that, I do have one cross-country story for tonight. And last Saturday, I actually went over to Spencerville to watch the junior high boys and girls teams run at the Bearcat Invitational over there. And during the junior high boys race, I was watching that, and that means that included your son, it included TK's son, it included Heavy D's son. So I was watching your three boys run, and when I'm on the cross-country course, Ken, I like to get to as many different spots as I can.
Absolutely.
Right? So I was on one portion of the course. I was trying to get to the other spot in the course to watch the leaders, and I'll tell you, I was sprinting. I was sprinting as fast as I could run, running across the road, and I tell you what, in the middle of my sprint, I got across the road, there was this cable. Out of nowhere, this cable was stretched out. I tell you what, it hit my back foot, and I started to roll. I rolled about 3 times, and I remember thinking during my roll, there is no way I'm going to come out of this looking cool. And sure enough, when I stopped, when I got done with my last roll, I look up, there was a high school kid standing there with his jaw open, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And, of course, you know what I said. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, no problem." And I had blood dripping from my elbow, blood coming from my knee, and I did get to see the leaders, though.
Well, that's good.
After a few minutes, though, the pain started setting in, and so I wandered back to the finish and told my wife the whole story, and the first words out of her mouth, I think, were, "Did anyone see you?"
She didn't give you any sympathy?
No sympathy. And then I went to you and I kind of told you the same story. And I think the first words out of your mouth were, "Did anyone get that on video?"
You know, I wish they would have. I tried to get a hold of Spencerville, somebody up there that had to have it on video for us, and we were going to show it, but unfortunately nobody got it.
Well, I've healed up since then. I do wonder if anybody's going to give me any sympathy. So if any of the viewers out there want to offer their sympathy to me, send me a tweet tonight, and I'll check it out by the end of the show. If I don't get any tweets, Ken, I guess nobody feels sorry for me.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if you get any.
Okay. All right, well, let's get things started. And just like we do every week, we got a weekly trivia question. Last week, I got the first trivia question of the season right. I'm looking forward to going 2 for 2 tonight.
All right, I'm going to toughen it up a little bit on you, Craig, here. And, we're talking Anna football tonight. We're going to talk to head coach Bryan Rioch. So the question tonight has to deal with Anna football. A little tougher, no multiple choices here, but I'll give you a range of years from 2000 to 2010.
Okay.
What year did the Anna Rockets join the MAC in football? What year did the Anna Rockets join the MAC in football.
And it's sometime between 2000 and 2010.
Yes, it is, and you better look for helpers.
Man, if you'd have gave me a choice of decades, I probably could have got it right, but this one's going to be a little tough. So if you're sending me a tweet tonight, maybe you can help me out with that trivia question as well. I'll look to answer that at the end of the show. All right, Ken, well, last week we did talk a little MAC football. Not a whole lot of MAC football, but we did touch on it a little bit. Kind of talked about how the MAC went an uncharacteristic 3-7 to start the season out. Last week it wasn't a whole lot better, was it?
No, Craig. They followed up their 3-7 week, Craig, with a 4-6 week. Very uncharacteristic of the MAC. You look at the MAC standings, Craig, and a couple things are very interesting. First of all, starting at the top, you see an undefeated at 2-0 Fort Recovery team. And then when you go down to the bottom half of the standings, Craig, you've got Minster, Delphus St. John's, St. Henry, Versailles, all traditional powerhouses in the MAC, all sitting on 0-2, and then New Bremen also on 0-2. So, yeah, it's been kind of a rough start for the MAC, and we'll have to ask Coach Rioch about that and see what he says.
Well, we're going to do that here in just a second. They, Anna opens their season or their MAC schedule at home, hosting Fort Recovery tomorrow night. Friday night. Fort Recovery's 2-0. Anna comes in at 1-1. And on the phone right now to talk with us about that is the head coach of the Rockets, Coach Bryan Rioch. Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Ken and I were just talking here a little bit about the uncharacteristic start of the MAC. I want to ask you, one of the coaches in the MAC, should we read anything into that?
I don't think so. I think if you look across the league, I heard Tim Goodwin talk about it, and I agree. I think the MAC is young at skill position, so I wouldn't read a lot into that. I know everybody's going to want to jump on it since the success that we've had, and everybody wants the MAC to be down because it kind of gives them hope. But I think that combined with the fact that we're playing a lot of pretty good non-league teams has something to do with the slow start, maybe.
All right, I'd say I agree with you on that, Coach. And let's talk about your Rockets, though, a little bit. Like I said, you're coming in to Friday night at 1-1. Who are some of the stars on your team this season?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Christian Williams is kind of our workhorse offensively. He's got about 500 yards rushing in 2 games. The kid, he's a special athlete. He's a special back. He's a big kid at 225 pounds. He's got good feet. He's a good athlete. He started for us last year as a sophomore in basketball. So it's pretty easy to see why he's had the success. But I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that one of the reasons he's good at running the ball is we got a pretty good big up front, Chandler Cotterman. He's 6'5", 300 pounds, and he's getting some Division I looks. And he's pretty good up front as well. Our quarterback's a second-year player. He's doing a nice job. Josh Robinson, he's got about 350 yards passing in 2 games. And he's a pretty good athlete as well. He's getting some scholarship looks as a baseball player. And then defensively, Wes Showalter is leading us in tackles. I think he's maybe has like 40 total tackles in 2 games, so he's having a real nice season so far.
Coach, this is Ken Francis. And first of all, I appreciate you taking time to be on our show tonight. And coming into tonight or Friday night's game, you've got the Indians of Fort Recovery. Fort Recovery right now sitting at 2-0 on the season. And what does it take for Anna to do well Friday night to get away with a win here?
We're going to have to get better at stopping the run. We come in every year, and that's one of our goals, stopping the run, and we absolutely got it jammed down our throat last week. So, we've made a renewed effort to make sure that's going to be our priority. So we want to try to make Fort Recovery one-dimensional by getting them in long down and distance situations.
You got off to a slow start last week against Brookville, but your Rockets battled back and darn near won that game. How can you carry that momentum into this week's game?
I really appreciated how our kids handled adversity. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong in the first half. We've been here for 16 years, and I've never had a punt go over our punter or snap go over our punter's head. So, I was kind of at a loss with that, and they scooped and scored, and what should have been 17-7 is 24-0. And our kids came out and battled back and played in a good game. It kind of reminded me a little bit of early on when we were in the CCC. We'd kind of play a lesser schedule or a weaker schedule. We weren't really prepared for the playoff quality opponents. That's kind of what it felt like. Our preseason scrimmages really weren't that great, and we really weren't ready to match Brookville's physicality.
What's it going to take for Anna to get back into the playoffs this year? And speaking of playoffs, is that what it takes to define a successful season at Anna?
I think so. we haven't been in the playoffs in the last couple of years, and I think that we're ready to take that next step. We've got some nice players. I think we have a good team. I think last week is really not an indicator of how good we can be. We're still kind of figuring out who we are a little bit, especially on defense. But I think once we start getting better and fill some of the holes that we had through last year's graduation, we'll get better.
All right, Coach, listen, we got one more question for you, and we'll let you go. Not so much football-related here, but the whole crew here at Fish Report Live, we've all been runners at one time or the other, and we like to go out and do 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and an occasional marathon. But we know you're a runner as well, and I understand you've actually run some races longer than a marathon. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that if I'm anything, I'm two things. I'm pretty competitive. I'm a little obsessive about some things. I don't just go out and run a little bit. I ran a marathon in Pittsburgh Marathon back in 2004, and I felt pretty good about it. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try some bigger things. So I got in a couple ultra marathons, and there's one up northeast Ohio at Mohican State Park, and it's a 100-miler. And I thought that might be a little bit too big for me to bite off early on as a runner. So I ran a 50-miler up there, and it wasn't so much the miles, although 50 miles is a lot. It's the terrain was just brutal.
Oh man, I can imagine. I can imagine. How long does it take you to recover after a 50-miler like that?
You know what? It wasn't as long as you'd think. I actually didn't feel as bad after that as I did my first marathon, and mostly because I put a ton of miles in beforehand.
Uh-huh.
I'd go out on a Friday or a Saturday morning and get up at 3:30 and run a 30-miler and come back on Sunday and run a 20-miler. So
wow.
It's a lot of time and effort. I mean, the reason I can't do that every year is it's just a lot of time, and I got a young family, so.
Sure.
Well, that's great dedication, Coach. And listen, best of luck to your Anna Rockets this year. And I know you got a lot of talent over there, and you've got a tough schedule ahead with all these MAC games coming up. But I'm sure your kids will be well prepared, and like they always are. And good luck to the Anna Rockets.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Coach. All right, that was the head coach of the Anna Rockets, Ken Bryan Rioch. First time we've talked to him on the show, and seems like a good guy.
Oh, yeah, great guy, and he does a great job with that program over there. I don't know how many years he's been at Anna, but I know it's quite a few. And, to play the caliber of competition that they play and be successful on it every year says a lot for him and the kids that play for him and the entire football program. So good luck to him the rest of the year.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but did he actually say a 50-miler wasn't as long as you think it is?
I think it's 50 miles, isn't it?
That's what I thought it was.
It's all about proper nutrition, Craig.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our first half of Fish Report Live tonight. Stay right there. We'll be right back and talk a little golf.
It's been a year since my baby finally gave up on me. I can't say that I'll blame her. She just got tired of playing losing games. I should succumb my pride and beg that girl to come back home. Deep down I know she's better off, 'cause fools like me are meant to die alone. Someone give me one good reason, one good reason to smile.
Welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. And Ken, the first half we were talking a little football. Nice interview there with head coach Bryan Rioch from the Anna Rockets. We're going to change gears here, though, and talk a little girls golf, in particular Russia girls golf. Just 2 teams, though, this year in the Shelby County League, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Fort Laramie Redskins and the Russia Raiders, 2 girls programs that have done very well over the years in Shelby County League golf, and actually throughout the, when they play all their non-league matches, of course. But we had a great opportunity the other night. We went out to Stillwater Valley Golf Course, got a great opportunity and a nice interview with Coach Doug Borchers, who's been the Raider coach now for about 5 or 6 years, and also had a good opportunity to talk to some of his golfers and what it takes to be a good golfer, and we had a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, I know all of the Fish Report here crew at one time or the other were golfers. I don't know if some of us still get out occasionally or not, maybe every once in a while, but one of the questions we asked those Russia golfers was to give us some advice on what it takes to be a good golfer. So you're going to see in this clip here where we asked those girls just that, and then we followed that up with an interview with Coach Borcher. So enjoy this.
Definitely repetition. When you hit a bad shot in the game, then you're not going to get better by just continuing playing 9 holes. You got to go out and get on the putting greens and just hit like 20 balls in a row and finally get the shot down, and that's going to make you better.
I would say you have to keep your head up and stay positive all the time. Can't get down on yourself. You just got to keep going, do the best you can do.
I would say you have to stay mentally focused and just keep playing even if you have a really bad stroke.
All you had to do really is just hit a long straight, have a pretty good short game, be a good putter, and it's that simple.
Doug, thanks for joining us on Fish Report.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Tell me how your season's been going so far.
The girls been playing pretty well this year. We're 7-2 going into tonight. Hopefully, when we finish here tonight, we'll be 8-2. I've been real pleased. We finished in the top half all of our invitationals, and the girls been winning most of their matches.
Tell me a little bit about some of your top players on this year's team.
Well, we got a lot of good players. We got a couple fourth-year seniors, Morgan Doherty and Taylor Borchers. They've been leading us all year, and their scores have been low in the 40s almost every match. So they've been our leaders. A couple of new players have been playing real well. Lindsay Myers has been playing well all year, and it's her first year playing. Karina France is really coming on the last couple of matches. Karina's score counted in high school girls golf. You count 4 of your top 6 scores, and Karina's score helped us win a match on Friday. Kayla Plyman's another senior. She's a second-year player, and she was our medalist in the Greenville match last week, and we don't win that match if she don't shoot her best round of the year. And Alicia George has been real steady for us all year, so been real happy with all the girls play.
Where do we stand in the regular season right now? When does postseason start, and what are some of your expectations?
Well, high school girls golf is a quick season. We've only got 2 weeks to go yet, and our season will be over. Two Wednesdays from this Wednesday. We're looking forward to the postseason. The girls have set that as a goal at the beginning of the year. They wrote all their own team goals, and they put that they wanted to advance out of the districts and make it to the regional. We've never done that before. We've got a lot of good teams. There's Versailles, there's Fort Laramie, there's Tip City. We feel like we're one of the top 5 teams, and we're gonna fight for that one of those 4 spots.
2 divisions or 3 divisions?
There's 2 divisions in high school girls golf. So Tip City's going to be in our division, even though they're a much bigger school. So it makes it a little more difficult, but we're not scared of it.
Well, Doug, Coach, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. Good luck to your team the rest of the season. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
All right, Ken, a lot of fun talking to them, and like I said, they're off to a good start this season.
Yeah, Coach Borchers puts a lot of time in out there. He spends a lot of time on the golf course helping the kids out on practice. The meets are long, or the matches are long, so, appreciate all the work he does, as well as all the other coaches, but it's tough to be out there and every evening and practicing with those girls in golf. So he does a great job and much appreciated.
And while we were roaming around out there trying to talk to golfers, girls golfers, we actually ran into a boys golfer. It's a pretty good one from Versailles, didn't we?
We did. We happened to be waiting on some of the girls to come in, the Russia girls to finish their rounds up, and we were in the clubhouse and ran into Versailles star Tyler Drees. Tyler's one of the top golfers in the MAC this year. He's had some great rounds, and he's just had a great career actually at Versailles. And we talked to Tyler for a little bit, and he gave us a few tips on his game and some of their goals that they've got this year. So this is Tyler Drees.
We have here with us Tyler Drees, one of the top golfers in the MAC this year from Versailles. Tyler, tell me a little bit about your season and how it's been going so far.
It's been going pretty good so far. I mean, we're probably 7-0 in matches, and we won the Dan Candick up at Pickla, and we've been real close to winning some other ones too.
Being out on the course, what's it take to be mentally tough out there to have a good round of golf?
It's just day in and day out practicing. You gotta go out and just prove to yourself that you can go out there and shoot low. It's just mentally have some confidence in yourself.
How about your goals this year, Tyler? Give us a few of your what the expectations are of this Tiger golf team.
Going into the year, we had set some expectations. We set our expectations pretty high. We want to obviously win the MAC, but that'll be close with Minster. But our main goal is obviously to get the state.
Well, listen, best of luck to you this year, and thanks a lot for joining us on Fish Report Live.
All right, Ken, that was Tyler Drees there from the Versailles Tigers. And, of course, we don't want to forget about our Russia boys team. They're actually doing very well this year, and looking forward to talking to them sometime real soon, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. You know, Coach Bremengen's got his boys team off to a great start this year, Craig. They're 6-0 in dual match plays in the Shelby County League. They've got the big league match coming up with everybody next week on Thursday, I believe it is. But we'll definitely get a shot to take care of those guys, get some good interviews next week. Pretty sure they've got a match that we can slip over and get to prior to their postseason. So they're off to a great start, and congratulations to those guys, and we'll get you on next week.
Yeah, we'll plan on doing that, getting out to the course or getting them in the studio, one of the two.
That'll work.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our golf talk tonight, Ken. I got just one more subject on the Fish Report website this morning. I mentioned that I had a special announcement coming up, and today is September 11th, and I think we all know what that means. We're trying to show our support tonight. I've got a little flag pin on my collar here. I don't know if you can pick it up there on the camera. You're wearing your red, white. I've got my blue on. I know the guys in the sound room back there have got the stars and stripes flying in the background, but no better way to observe this day than to talk to Russia's newest U.S. Marine, and that's Bryce Dues, a 2013 graduate of Russia High School, and I know you know him very well. Very upstanding guy, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Bryce is a great guy. Graduated from high school last year, had a great sports career, Craig, and then took his heart and soul to fight for our country. And a very special interview that you had with him the other night. And one other thing about today, today is a day that we remember all those who lost their lives and honor all those who protect our lives. And, it's unfortunate that a lot of times we forget about this stuff, but today is one of those special days, and let's hear what Bryce Dues has to say.
I know a lot of people back home were thinking about you. As far as keeping in touch with loved ones back home, were you able to write letters, call, email? Were you able to keep in touch with people back home at all?
Yeah, it's different for every branch of the military, but with the Marine Corps at recruit training, you're only allowed to write letters, and you don't get any phone calls home or email or anything because you don't bring anything with you there but the clothes you have on your back. But definitely the letters help a lot of people that are in recruit training.
What's been the toughest thing for you so far? All right, Ken, that was just a small clip of the interview I had with him last night. I'm actually going to show that interview in its entirety, which runs probably about 5, 6, 7 minutes. I'm going to show that on Friday on the Fish Report website. Wanted to put it on Friday. That way it's up all weekend and people have a good chance to check it out either Friday or over the weekend. But like I said, very upstanding guy, and we sure are proud of him for defending our country and proud of him being from Russia.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of guys from Russia in the whole viewing area, guys that have been, we kind of run our show based on sports, Craig, but, it's always nice to remember what is really important to all of us, and that's our freedom. And, just a great interview, and thank you to Bryce and all the servicemen who put their life out there for all of us every day.
All right. Well, Ken, we got just one more thing. Actually, I do want to slip back in the sound room real quick and see if those guys kind of haven't talked to them a whole lot tonight. Guys, anything back there happening in the wide world of sports?
Yeah, we got a big game coming up against Fort Laramie and Jackson Center in high school girls volleyball, and we were talking about that before the show started, and my prediction on that, Laramie's got a very solid junior and senior laden squad. Jackson's got a young team, a couple nice freshmen and sophomores on the team. I'm going to make a prediction, TK. I'm going to say Jackson in 4.
Jackson in 4.
Jackson in 4.
Woo!
TK,
Well,
you care to argue that, or?
I'm not sure I can argue that, Fish. Watching Fort Laramie when the Raiders went over there the other night, I was a little surprised with some of the fundamental mistakes they were making. Things that can be corrected, but if they make those mistakes again, I think that Jackson Center team will take advantage of it, and I can't really argue with Heavy D and his predictions right now.
All right, now I got to ask, you guys both picking Jackson Center here. I know you've got this big thing with the Big Cat. You know, we were talking about the Big Cat last week. There's no chance that you were guaranteed a Big Cat if you pick the Tigers, is there?
No Big Cat on the line.
All right, I'll take your word for it. All right, well, they're picking Jackson Center.
That kind of surprised me, but I'll tell you what, those guys have forgot more about volleyball than I know about volleyball. So if they pick Jackson Center, I guess I'd have to go with them.
All right. Well, we just got one more thing to do tonight, Ken, and that is get to that trivia question. I've been getting some help on Twitter here. Why don't you read me the question?
All right, Craig. The question was, and your options here were a range of years from 2000 to 2010. We spoke with Coach Rioch before. I thought he was going to blow the answer there for a little bit, but he didn't. What year did the Anna Rockets join the MAC in football?
And you weren't giving me any multiple choice here.
No, it's sometime in the 2000s.
All right. Well, I've got some help on Twitter. I got a 2008, a 2007, a couple 2006s, and in between all those that help there, I did get one person offer me their sympathy for my accident last Saturday.
Okay.
And then I had another person say no sympathy. So,
well, it balanced it out then.
So, but anyway, I got two votes for 2006. That sounds about right to me. So I'm going to go with 2006.
Well, Craig, you know what? You're really close, but you're 1-1. You're off.
Oh, man.
2005, the Anna Rockets joined the MAC in football. 2005.
2005. All right. Well, I'm back to 500, I guess.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our show tonight, Ken. Before we go, I do want to say special thanks to Coach Rioch for joining us tonight. Also, thanks to that girls golf team, Tyler Drees and Bryce Dues for doing that interview with us last night. We're going to be back again, everyone, next week, same time, same place. Until then, have a great rest of the week, and good night.
From Studio F in Russia, Ohio, for Ken Francis, Craig Fissinger, and TK, this is Heavy D, signing off saying good night and good fishing.